The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
is it true?
Second,
is it fair to all concerned?
Third,
will it build goodwill and bear friendships?
Fourth,
will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Please be seated. Rotary song, PPF, please.
这样你就不用走到那了，可以在这里。
Okay.
Hello. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is law on land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, he profits most who serve the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary.
Thank you, PPF. Introduction of distinguished Rotarians and honorable guests. Catherine, please.
Hello everyone. Let's welcome today's speaker, 金承运先生. And today's guest, 林庭君小姐. Also, Oakley spouse, Jennifer. And Jimmy's guest, Robert. Also, Jimmy's guest, 王哲先生.
Thank you, Catherine. President's time.
Good afternoon, my fellow Rotarians. And first of all, okay, I feel like I'm showing the picture weekly, very routinely, but still the member is not increasing. But still, I need to share the information with you. It's our badminton team regularly practice on every Tuesday. So seriously, if you are interested, please join us. And actually, this picture is my only part of today. And later on, I will introduce our speaker today. And I also like to welcome our guests, Wang Zhe and Robert. And Wang Zhe is an architect in Taichung. His company name is 十分建筑. It's quite famous in Taichung. They just finished a project in Chengping, Qingmei Chengping. The layout just been remodeled. And Robert is our potential member, so please be nice to him. And Wang Zhe maybe probably will be interested in our club, so maybe join us when you have time. Yeah, that's my part of today. Thank you.
Secretary's time. January board meeting will be held after the regular meeting. All board members, please reserve your time to attend. The New Year party will be on February 1st at Chaogang. Please sign up with Anne if you are interested. Program. Speaker introduction. President Jimmy.
It's me again. Later. I would like to introduce Mr. Kim Jin. And he's actually one of my best friend's husband. And I've known him for, I think, around 10 years. And they just recently got married. And he is actually I think one of the most intelligent people I know so far, because he can remember everything. And let's look at his background profile. He actually he got his bachelor in land economics from National Taipei University. After that, he came to Donghai University for his master in architecture. And then he went to the States for in Columbia. And what's the major? It's real estate. He will introduce that, I think. Anyway, yes, so for me, he just say he's a professional student because like all the field he all covered. And the relation with our club is actually Wang Zhe and Jing is also students of our club member Ming in Donghai University. But unfortunately, he's not here today. Maybe next time. Yeah.
That's too obvious.
So I think I just saved my time for Jing. Let's welcome Jing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me here, and thanks for Jimmy's kind word on me. But it's so obvious Ming is not here, so well, you probably don't expect about my speech, you know, like, cause, well, he told me that, well, he apologized for his absence today, and I told him, well, it's okay, you know what I'll be talking about, right? And since I got all those tricks from you. Okay, so as Jimmy introduced, because my wife is actually one of her best friends and they're besties for almost 20 years or something. So we recently just got married, and yeah, me myself, as she described, I built my career as an architect, but well, I only practiced architecture design for 2 years while in Taipei, but mainly engaged in large-scale commercial development, especially these so-called joint development, 联合开发. So these are massive transportation-oriented commercial development with the public sector and the private sector. So during the practice, I've been dealing with all these, you know, stakeholders and all these benefit conflicts, and also try to create a win-win situation for our client from a design perspective. So, oh, thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. So after 2 years, I joined a local development conglomerate. Actually, it's an industrial conglomerate you might be heard of. It's the Qingmei Jitan. So during the service at Qingmei, so I was mainly engaged in real estate development, asset management, and also distress acquisition, the so-called NPLs, 不良债权重组. So that's the reason why I got more exposure into finance and working with all these investment banks and private equity firms from the Western country. And after a couple of years in development world in Taiwan, so I went to Columbia University in New York to get my real estate development finance degree. And afterwards, I've been mainly engaged in cross-border real estate investment, development, and acquisition activities. So we're gonna talk about my my practice right now in Vietnam because, well, I have to bring this up because since 2016, I've been living in Ho Chi Minh City, and to manage actually it's a property investment-based family office. So basically what I was mainly in the private equity real estate world, and also manage the family fund. So in charge of the cross-border inbound, outbound investment in real estate merger and acquisition activities, and also some corporate finance, you know, like such as borrowing money from the banks against our property. So fortunately, I think I was fortunate enough to start my career in Vietnam at 2016, which is the best year because 2015, you probably heard of the new real estate law in Vietnam, which opens up the market for foreign investors to invest. But before that, the foreigners can only acquire real estate for their self-occupancy, but not for investment purposes. So since 2016, Vietnam became a really booming real estate market. Okay, and at the end of 2019, a group, my current company, the Ali Logistic Property, Yongyan Wuliu Kaifa, whose founder is also happened to be my alumni from Columbia University, just recruited me and say, hey, we're gonna do this because Yongyan has been focusing on logistic property, and later on, which I will introduce the nuance in the business model to all of you a little bit. Since 2014 or so. So they wanted to expand their developments into Vietnam. So I joined the group in 2020 to now. So next, I will bring you the introduction of the company and also share you a little bit of our strategy and our vision in Southeast Asia. Okay, start from why we're doing this. Yongyan is a rather young company. We started out the business in 2014. And why we were doing this? Because the founder, Charlie is my boss and also the co-founder and the CEO of Yongyan. So, before that, when talking about 物流地产, okay, logistic property, talking about warehouses, 仓库, right? Before that, almost 70% of warehouses in Taiwan are illegal without a proper design, proper permitting process, and proper business model. You're just building something on the agricultural land. You're building a shed. 你在农地上盖一个铁皮屋, and then you collect the rent for someone else. And there's no professional operation, no professional management, and no compliances to the firefighting regulations. So everything is scattered, not well managed. So we just saw this as an opportunity. And happened to, our founder, they happened to own this a massive land bank in Ruifang in Taipei. And back then, Cathay Life Insurance, because as you know, the life insurance company, they're looking for massive capital deployment into a stable income producing assets. So this becomes a good match. So we decided 7 years ago, we decided to develop the first modern logistics center in Taiwan. And the business model is simple. We started out very simple. We find the land, we build a shed, but definitely high quality shed, high quality warehouses, and lease it out. Lease it out to the brands, to the 3PLs within the third party logistic operator, like DHL, Li Feng, okay? Or you probably seen the one in Wu, right in front of the Gaotiezan, that's our property, our development as well. They're like Yamato, Heimao. So these are the traditional operators. So they occupy our spaces and we collect the rent. This is the traditional logistic property business model. Okay, so speaking of which, why we are keep expanding? You see, building a shed, collecting the rent, there's no huge, you don't see the huge difference between this and as a Bao Zhugong, right? We're just probably deploying more money and building larger spaces. But, well, the rent you're collecting per square meter per pin is definitely lower, way lower than an apartment. So how do you want to beat this up? How do you want to build a so-called portfolio? So this is what we're seeing. As you see, among all real estate or property, institutional property development world, okay, these are the giants. And logistic property and industrial property, I'm talking about ready-to-build warehouses and ready-to-build factories for rent. I think these are around 40% of the global real estate investment activity right now. So see, these are the giants. Prologis, it's a US basis. They're the largest warehouse owner in the world. GLP, Pulosi. So it used to be a part of Prologis, but being acquired by GIC from Singapore, but now it's privatized. Goodman, okay, from Australia, Mapletree from Singapore, under Temasek. So these are all these sovereign wealth fund play. So these are massive money. So you see, the total asset is multi-billion-dollar business. But in Taiwan, we started out rather smaller. But now we're seeing this opportunity, and we need to build an entry barrier, okay, with capital-intensive investment. So that's the reason why Cathay is interested in that, because Cathay, provide us the ammunition. They provide the capital, and we will be developing these and operate this. Oh, so as I said, here is the time frame and some, our milestones. So we founded in 2014. Until today, we already have over 800 million US invested. Okay, and these are all equities, no leverage. 就是保险资金不能借钱. So it's around 250. 800 million is around 24亿吧. Yeah, 240 亿. Yeah, sorry, 240亿台币. So the warehouse GFA under management is more than 500,000, but the target is to build 1 million square meters, so it's around 33万平左右. So currently we still have 430,000 to go under the pipeline. And just for reference, we are going to announce our latest new smart warehouse development later this month in Yangmei. So you see, like right now we have all these smart and logistic warehouse here, but these are still traditional warehouses, which means, these are multi-layers, but these are still like you need human labor to maneuver the forklift to do the handling activities. But later on, the next generation smart logistic warehouse will be computer AI controlled automated racking system, which I will introduce to you later on as well. So I think like a 2020 with the marks the our overseas expansion, because we acquired our first overseas project in KL, Malaysia, and this year, last year, 2021, sorry. We established our Vietnam office, and I'm in charge of that, and we have local incorporation and also build up the acquisition and project management team. So here's a short clip to give you some more flavor of what we've been done. This is the first Ruifang Logistic Park. Okay, so I think it started out from, from introducing the traditional business model of logistic property and, warehouse leasing. These are usual suspect. I think everybody understand that. And we started out from building, as the Baozugong in the very beginning. And there's no difference in terms of business model from these global players. But right after we started business, we realized that actually, our clients, we can help our clients to enhance the service level and to increase the handling efficiency even more by combining the facility and also equipment and the system integration. Because the thing is, usually, as you try to imagine, if you're Unilever, you're a Baoya or someone, okay, you don't really rent a space from the. Sometimes you hire a 3PL to handle the goods for you, okay? They rent a space from us. It's an empty warehouse. So the 3PLs like DHL or Li Feng, they rent a space and they build up the rackings, 货架, okay? So they help their clients to install their goods on the racking system. But the thing is, like usually these logistic service contract only for 3 to 5 years, which means they're not in the capacity, in the position to invest more to increase on the automation or all these mechanical system. So ALP's strategy is we are combining everything together. We build a warehouse, we build a racking system, and also we install equipment. And we are facing the terminal end users without the 3PLs intervening. So the cost will be lower, but the efficiency will go higher. And because we are capable, we are in the position to do the capital intensive investment. We can handle that. So we become the WeWork of a warehouse because it's well equipped. It's a 精装修 warehouse. I mean, our clients, you just need to, handle your goods to us, and we'll take care of everything, right? And well, you don't have to bear all this, equipment depreciations and all these, accounting losses. So I think this is the difference. This marks a major difference between ALP and other logistic property developer. Okay, and these show you a little bit about our current clients. You see, most of them, there are FMCG, major consumer brands in the world. And these are, on the left-hand side, these are our facility clients, means they rent our spaces and they operate by their own. But on the right-hand side, they also hire us as the logistics service provider. Okay, so as I mentioned, till now we have multiple logistic parks in Taiwan, and currently we have mainly in Taipei and now in Taichung, and also we're serving several locations in the south, mostly Tainan or Kaohsiung, so to create the logistic networks. But I think which is important is, I think ALP also differentiates itself by design, and because we understand we're facing our end users, so it's very crucial for us to understand their needs and also the goods. So that's the reason why we can have the best solution from day one of designing the spaces. So we understand that by differentiating different product, different storing environment, and different channels players like ECs, okay, e-commerce retailers, and offline CVS or supermarket. These are totally different. I mean, the handling efficiency and the frequency are totally different, right? And by storing environment, if it's wine, it's pharmaceutical product, and it's like a food, it's like shoes and apparels. These are totally different. So I think we create this category to define more accurately how do we provide a total solution for our clients. Okay, so this is one example. This is a wine hub. We developed this in 2017, and it's actually a retrospective. It's a retro afterthought of the warehouse because we just have a warehouse built and it's still vacant, and we see, hey, why don't we try the automation system to handle the wines? And the actual reason why is, as you know, the wine vintage and wine, all these, labels are very difficult to be recognized by common, order pickers and warehouse laborers. And also, these are high value, precious goods. So it's very easy to be broken, and also we're jeopardizing the inventory value. So we see, hey, we just digitalize all these wine label and the vintages and write it into the algorithm and use the automated system to recognize it and also to handle it. So yeah, just this is this wine hub handles, as I know, this wine hub handles more than 70% of retail red wine in Taiwan. Not red wine, white wine in Taiwan. Okay, and this is our EC hub, and I think this marks a very good example when, you know, previously I just mentioned that I described we're as the WeWork of the warehouse or logistics service, right? Because, well, most of our clients here in the EC hub are SMEs, small online retailers. The reason why we're building this is, well, by no means, if they're handling 1,000 or, well, let's say 2,000 orders a day, they're not in the position to build up their own distribution center and install automation solutions. So we thought, hey, why not doing this for them? And, you know, we charge a very reasonable handling fee for them, and they can collect their goods, they can handle their goods, and also do all these packaging, dispatching, distribution in our center. And we install all these state-of-the-art automated AGV system, and the whole facility is specifically designed, dedicated for the AGV routings. And we even, our in-house IT team even optimize its algorithm to, you know, to maximize its handling facility. And well, just show you a very obvious difference. Before that, I think before the implementation of the AGV means automated guided vehicle. All these order pickers, well, by statistics, they need to walk over 11 kilometers per day in the warehouse to pick things up. But after the AGV, they can just stand in the order picking station. And we call this good to human strategy. It's a 货到人. So you don't have to walk around to find out the articles. It's not. We have many videos. Yeah, you know, like we have a design team, they're producing this video all day. So, just for some background knowledge, each AGV, I think the loading is, the maximum loading is around 800 kilo to 1 ton. It's very easy, you see, you can just stand there and wait for the AGVs, and the whole, you know, the graphic system will guide you which one to pick and where you should like put it. And we also designed this in-house, this is designed by our in-house IT team. So, you know, all the top executives and also our clients can have the immediate real-time monitor over their inventory and handle the process on their mobile devices. Okay, this is another project. We call it a BTS project, Build to Suit. Means we dedicated design and develop this for a certain client. And this is the largest and most advanced pharmaceutical GDP grade warehouse in Taiwan. It's in Yangmei, and we just finished it last year. And our clients, the major, probably the largest pharmaceutical product distributor from Switzerland in Taiwan. Okay. Oh, and this is, I think this is our latest completion in Ruifang as well. So we call it the Omega Code. This is our Omega means our Omega is the product name, brand name of our next generation smart warehouse. But this one is rather smaller. The one we're going to launch on later this month is 10 times bigger than this. So this is the largest, my apology. This is the largest multi-temperature layer controlled cold storage in Taiwan. And before its completion, it's totally pre-leased out to Quanjia and Quanlian. So this is the, I think the major CVS and grocery chain occupies this facility. Okay, and this is a tiny, this is our recent trail project, I'll say, the Beauty Hub, because Estee Lauder is also our anchor client as well. So I think I think their EC, we are handling the majority of their e-commerce and online retail transactions and handlings. So by this experience, so we accumulated experience to handling all these, like cosmetic goods. So we are trying to optimize one of our warehouse and dedicate it into, for 美妆店 or 彩妆 these products. Well, by designing, specifying its soil environment, humid control, and temperatures. Okay, so here I talk about a little bit about Omega and the smart warehouse we're going to do. And this is, I'll give you the full picture of the strategy. And I think this is the nuance behind it. We call it infrastructure as a service, which means we are trying to build an AWS, means Amazon. Amazon is like, what's the full name of Amazon, the AWS? So basically, we're building infrastructure spaces, okay? Means we are building infrastructure and we charge as you use, okay? There is no flat fee, so you don't be overcharged because of the the underutilization, okay? And also we're building this massive facility to offset your costs in the whole supply chain. Means we are elevating our service level within the warehouse and to offset your handling cost and also your transportation cost. So we're combining a total solution within one facility. So this is one we're about to launch and later this month on 19th January. So just have you a quick pick on that. So the key difference of this warehouse is, you see, traditional single-story warehouse is like this. Okay. Now we're doing the second generation, like we have all these floor plates and we build rackings on top of it and you store the goods on it. In Omega, we got all this out. There will be no floor plates. These are 40 meters high, totally automated ASRS. ASRS means automated storage and retrieval system controlled racking system. And also the racking will be used to support a roof. So the construction cost could be saved even more than the traditional one. And the storing capacity will be 23% higher than the traditional warehouse. But the price you pay is you need to install all these, the automated cranes, the crane system. But well, think it this way, right? The crane is actually the forklift, right? In a traditional warehouse, you need a forklift to handle your goods, but you need human labor to control the forklift. But in an ASRS scenario, these are all computer control, and there will be no labor issue, there will be no labor injury, and higher efficiency. Because by a man-controlled forklift, well, by no means you can put something in or out on a 40 meters high racking, right? So yeah, as I mentioned, I think ALP's strength is system integration, and so we integrated whole IT system and automated automated mechanical system. So these are not rocket science. I think ASRS or these auto storage system was pretty common in manufacturing. These are not rocket science, but I think how to integrate the interfaces altogether is I think it's the accumulation of experience and the implementation in logistic. I think we are the first, well, in Taiwan. So this is the UI, the management interface I mentioned to you before. Okay, so till now we already have our experience, our presence in Malaysia and in Vietnam. So later on we have around 2 or 3 locations under due diligence in Vietnam right now. So I think at least I think we can start our project construction in Q2 this year. So each country we target to build 3 to 5 Omegas in each country, and I think the total investment target is around $1 billion US. And this is the target, and we are trying really hard to accomplish that. But well, we're happy to have our first project commencement, well, in Malaysia later around I think Q1 after Chinese New Year this year. So yeah, I think this marks the end of it. And just in the last slide, I want to show you these. Omega 1 is already completed. It's around, when we talk about Omega warehouse, remember I said we don't calculate a floor plate. We don't calculate the jiping anymore. We're talking about the rackings. So 多少个储位. So there are how many spaces you can fit in the pallets per pallets. So this Omega is around 8,000 pallet position. 8,000 pallet position. This one is the one we're gonna launch later this month. So this will be 80,000 pallets, which is 10 times in capacity of this one. This one, well, later this year, this one is in Yangmei as well. And we have our first Omega in Malaysia in Q1 this year, and this one is 130,000 pallets position. So these are massive warehouses. Yeah, so we're very looking forward to that, and we're very excited. And thank you for this opportunity to have me here to bring you this introduction. And hopefully this will be entertaining, and also like if you're interested or if you're in need of this, although I'm not sure about your background or industry, but well, please feel free. Let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Is there anyone who has any question? PP still?
Myself was quite impressed by your presentation. It looks like an Amazon in Taiwan. Got 2 questions. One is, look at your warehouses, software warehousing. It looks pretty fully automated and it's very complicated. Okay, so how do you want to prevent the system failure? I mean, such a fully automated system looks pretty complicated. Okay. The second is regarding your so-called business model. You mentioned about the cafe life. Seems to be making financing. What do you all your developments? Money comes from such as a life insurance company, or maybe the landowner come to you and approach, say you can do such and such development for them.
Okay, thank you. I think the first question is simple and also complicated, because I think like we accumulated experience and we built up our internal IT team. I think we have an IT team of 40 people right now in Taiwan, and I think it needs like a massive amount of trial and error experience. So as I said, we started automated implementation, start from 2017, start from the wine hub. the red wine warehouse you see in the video. So that takes a long process, and we've been optimizing and revising and trying to, upgrade our system internally. And most importantly, I think we're not just implement the automation system, but we design a facility for automation system from day one. So I think this will mitigate all this risk. But although there still will be some bugs, so I think ALP is very well positioned in providing the solutions against those. So I think we're still trying, and I think we definitely can improve ourselves, and we definitely can make it better. But we're just keep doing this. Yeah. And the second question is, I think for now we have a very long-term and strong partnership with Cathay. Because in Taiwan, Cathay, they have, as I said, they have large insurance fund to be deployed on the real estate, right? And a warehouse or industrial property business model is very suitable for their requirements, because 保险局 or these authority, they have this, demands on them. They can only acquire property with stable income cash flow, okay? And ALP is in the position to have these operational expertise to secure that. So we are in a very strong and stable relationship. But, we're definitely open. I think we're definitely open as long as there is a proper opportunity. We can work with different landowners or landlords as well. Yeah. Thank you.
PP Juice.
You mentioned you basically currently working with Cathay Life. So they're buying the land, provided the real estate, and you build the warehouse, or what kind of model? What you mean cooperation?
I would say the one in Ruifang or the Omega 2, which will launch this month. The model is we select the land and we develop it. We provide the development, design, planning expertise, and Cathay will invest on the capex, the land, the building, and sometimes the equipment, but different by different project. Yeah.
So they rent.
Yes, basically they are collecting the rent. Yeah, you can say that. And we are collecting the service charges from our clients. Yeah.
Any else? Kyoko?
Thank you so much for the insightful talk. So my question is, so you mentioned about having different variety of customers, and they produce, wine and cosmetics. To what extent do you have to customize your system according to different customers, or you don't really have to customize that much?
Thank you. So I think in terms of our focus, we're providing a logistic and warehousing solution, right? So I think to what extent, it depends on, sometimes I think, sometimes the clients will provide their requirements, but sometimes, based on our experience, we probably will tell them, hey, probably you don't need that much. Like sometimes you don't want to overspec. You don't want to overspec your warehouse, right? Like if you're selling, well, 50块钱的护唇膏 lip balm, you probably don't want to store it in like a humid control, like a multi-temperature layer, and like 24 hours real-time monitor. Well, that will be overkill. That's overkill, right? But I think that the extent of the customization is, I think the range is huge. But I think we can almost like customize all these requirements in terms of handling in the storing environment. Because I think in logistics, the most important thing are two. There are only two things. One is storage and handling, right? So I think like handling, I'll say like for now, like for our EC hub, we have all these common shared carton boxes. Okay, we made a common carton boxes. This will increase the the packaging speed and efficiency. But the customization we have is we can help them to print their logo or their, like whatever you want, you can print on a box. But the box will be unified, and there are different dimensions for you to choose. Okay, this is how we balance between the customization and efficiency, because it's a zero-sum game. If you want to really customize, unless, well, okay, this facility is dedicated for you. Okay, then it will be a BTS project, as I said. Yeah.
Anyone have any question? I have one question. How, like, when you targeting properties, what's the most important thing when you select them?
You mean for a warehouse? Oh, well, I think transportation is a must. Transportation is first. But as I said, the one on the page IaaS, infrastructure as a service, because sometimes we can bear a longer transportation distance by higher in-warehouse handling efficiency, because it takes we save more time in the warehouse, right? And then so you can probably spend a little bit more. You have more flexibility on the road, but also because of as I said, the ASRS system, the Omega will increase your storage capacity. So which means the cost. We're talking about a cost, because usually if you're buying a condo or real estate, you're talking about a cost per square meter, right? But let's say if you increase the capacity, increase the pallet position, the cost per pallet position is actually lower. So then you have more flexibility and more buffer on the real estate acquisition. Yeah. So I mean, it's a give and take. It's a give and take. Well, if you want to be closer to the city, for sure you need to pay more, right? But if you increase the capacity, then you probably can afford higher land price, right? But in other way, if you want a cheaper land, you want to stay further, and it takes more on the traffic, and then by increasing the handling efficiency, then you probably can stay away more, right? Yeah. So that's the nuance behind it.
Thank you, Jane. Anyone? Okay, May.
In terms of technology and efficiency, what's the difference between this logistic property business in China compared to Taiwan?
In what perspective?
Like technology or efficiency in general?
Okay, in China, I'll say, because you see most of these we call, I'll take a most extreme example. In China, you've probably seen some so-called dark warehouse. Dark warehouses means the warehouse could be dark inside because no human labor needed. But most of these are, like a trail or just for publicity. You still need someone to operate that, okay? You see this in China, and you see automation. You see these capital-intensive activity in these smart warehouses in China. But the major difference is that most of these are for JD or for Alibaba. JD or Alibaba, these retailers, they build this warehouse for themselves, not for others. AWS is the same. Amazon build a smart warehouse for themselves. Okay, they are building the army, building the ammunition and the warfares for themselves. They're not opening up the resources. Yeah, and you asked about the differences between Taiwan and China. I mean, PC Home. Talk about PC Home or Momo. What's your revenue? What's your EBITDA per year? You cannot compete with JD. JD or Alibaba, they can't afford to build like hundreds smart warehouse like this. Yeah, Jingdong. Yeah, but I mean, PC Home or Momo, they're probably still using someone else's warehouses, right? So I'll say these are the key difference, because the scale of the capital market and also the appetite, gives them more flexibility. to do that, to develop that in an earlier stage. But I think Taiwan, right now, we see Taiwan is pretty mature, and Southeast Asia is booming, it's growing really fast, so we're going to do that.
Does that mean you build a warehouse for more like a domestic market?
Yes, yes.
And
we are till now we are fully focusing on consumer products, especially the so-called FMCGs, fast-moving goods, consumer goods. Yeah, like the shampoos or like everything you see in Quanlian or Baoyang. Yeah, these are FMCGs.
Thank you, Jane. And we have a little gift for you to present. Thank you.